In 1994, the Queen City Ice Palace became ground zero for a hockey explosion in Helena. For 5 seasons, the Helena Ice Pirates were one of the most feared teams in the Northwest, and new fans supported the team to a celebrity-level status. But a change began to occur in the late months of 1999 that would completely change the game of hockey in Helena. This would be one of many bumps in the road for what we know of today as the Helena Bighorns. We go back in time in this final part of our origin story mini-series of Beyond the Bench.
Toyota, let's go places.
So I bought the place at the courthouse steps with the help of Mountain West Bank, and I changed the team from the Ice Pirates to the Gold Rush. So we actually operated for 2 years as the Helena Gold Rush. They had come in with the Cutthroats. I think they saw the writing on the wall that this new tiering structure was coming. That's when they created the second team, which would have been Junior B at that time, in the old days when I had it. So they had 2 teams going by the same 2 owners, just to have that transition happen.
In 2003, USA Hockey implemented the first major change to junior hockey. The old AWHL was absorbed and renamed by the Tier 2 NAHL. The NORPAC became known as the Tier 3 Junior B League, and by 2006, the owners sold the Cutthroats to focus entirely on the Bighorns. It was at this point that Mike Butter's title migrated from co-owner of the 2 franchises to operating as president of the Bighorns. And Cutthroats bench boss Scott Cunningham, the last man to coach the Ice Pirates, became head coach of the new Bighorns franchise. Koulis remains the sole owner of the building and the team to this very day. But then in 2006, almost simultaneously and in retrospect, in a horrifically intentional twist of fate, the NAHL pulled all support from its Montana and Wyoming market teams. Literally overnight, Montana teams were suddenly not only without a league, but many no longer had places to play. The 9,000-seat Metro Arena announced in the spring of '06 that they would not be offering a new contract to the Billings Bulls. The 3,500-seat Valley Ice Garden in Bozeman was sold for pennies on the dollar just days later. And by the weekend, the Butte Civic Center announced that they had taken the ice out for the final time ever, leaving the Irish completely dismantled. In 2007, the NORPAC evolved into a Tier 3 Junior A distinction from USA Hockey mandate and welcomed Montana teams with open arms until 2011. That year, the teams that now make up the NA3HL Frontier Division operated as the new America West Hockey League, an 8-team USA Hockey-sanctioned organization that the Helena Bighorns ran the table on for almost its entire existence, even winning the 2011 National Junior A Tier 3 Championship along the way. The new AWHL then folded in the 2013-14 season, and the Bighorns, along with the rest of the teams in the AWHL with the exception of Missoula, began operations under the new North American 3 Hockey League, which today boasts 48 teams across the entire United States. In 2013, Koulis and Butters parted ways. Head coach Scott Cunningham would depart a year later in the spring of 2014 for coaching career advancement opportunities. Thus, the first change in head coach in franchise history occurred just weeks later with the signing of John Jonassen. Jonassen was relieved of his duties in late winter of 2015, and the Bob Richards era began in late May of 2016. With all of the changes the team has endured throughout its history, some of the challenges today are very similar to those back then.
They tried hard to get rid of us. I mean, nobody wanted, extra teams starting to try to get these kids, which we face the same problem now. The problem's even worse now with all the Tier 3 teams competing for the same group of kids. So it's tough. Recruiting's tough.
You don't see you don't see that level of enthusiasm / production now. I mean, there's 48 junior teams in just our league alone at the Tier 3 level for the North American 3. Plus, you have the USPHL, which has another 20. I mean, the amount of Tier 3 junior leagues or teams now is, way over 100. Then you still have Tier 2, which is 20-some in the North American. You have the Tier 1, which is the USHL. So it's great for hockey. It's growing as much, but I think, you're also, now we don't play in the Metro and Billings. Those guys don't get that experience, and we don't play in the Civic Center in Butte either. You play in smaller rinks, and they don't quite have, like I said, the production / enthusiasm there.
Which brings us to today, almost full circle 20 years later, where our coach, having played here, may like to talk about the old days, but as he puts it, there's work to be done now.
Over the last 22 years, all of the ups and downs, the bright spots, the dark ones, for the thick and the thin and everything else, there's been one constant, and that's been you, the fans. And to think of everything that we've been through as an organization, the fact that you guys are still showing up week after week to support these kids on the ice is, it just leaves us with an immense feeling of gratitude. Thank you so much for spending your money and spending your time. It could be done elsewhere, but instead you come here with us and you support these boys in this organization. And it goes both ways too. You guys helped recruit these kids. You ask any of these guys right now what the number one factor was of why they chose Helena to play over anywhere else, and they said, because we want to play in front of Helena fans. You guys are amazing, and week after week the numbers grow, and week after week our hearts here at the Bighorns organization get bigger and bigger. Thank you so much for everything you do for us. You honor us with your time, with your money, and with your support. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the show. Take care.